get Titus chapter 2 and verse 2. Prince, again, so we're here to teach the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right here on this side, to our left, your right, that we're God's chosen people, the Israelites, right? Do you believe in the Bible? Okay, how do you believe in the Bible? What do you do? How do you show that you believe in the Bible? By not doing stuff that's ungodly. I like that and I agree. So what do you personally do, Mr. Prince, that's not ungodly according to the Bible to show that you believe in it? You treat people with kindness. Okay, what about the Most High? Hold that in 1 Corinthians 11. What about the Most High God? Do you treat him with kindness? Are you obedient to him? You said you are. Okay, so we're going to read something in the Bible. We're going to see how obedient you are, thus said the Lord, all right? Huh?
Ain't nobody perfect.
Ain't nobody perfect. Well, are we commanded to be perfect? Are we commanded to be perfect? We are. So why are we not being perfect if we're commanded to be? Sin. I like that. Read on.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every man is who?
The head of every man is Christ.
Jesus Christ, the black Messiah, is the head of every man. That's thus said the Lord. Prince, you with me? Prince, Mr. Prince, you with us? Okay, read on.
And the head of and the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Christ is God.
So the head of every woman is the man. There's no 50-50 in marriage. We are over them. Just like a father with a daughter is over his daughter, just like, the same thing in marriage. The man is over his wife. There is no 50-50. And he said, that's that last part again?
And the head of Christ is God.
The head of who?
The head of Christ is God.
And the Most High is over Christ. Letting you know what? Right there in that same verse, there's no such thing as, what do they call it, Holy Trinity? That's not in the Bible. The Most High is over his Son, Jesus Christ, our Messiah, the King. You understand? We don't?
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered.
Having his head what?
Having his head covered.
So every man that has his head covered in the midst of praying or prophesying, what is prayer? Talking to the Most High God, right? Hold that, get John 9:31, be coming right back. So every man praying or prophesying, we agree praying is talking to the Most High God, and that's a certain way to pray. Are you familiar with that? In the Bible, it tells us how to pray in 1 Kings 8. You got to face east. With your hands up, either towards the east or towards the heavens, like King Solomon did. This is in the Bible. Everything we bring out is going to be, thus said the Lord. Not our own opinions, like this place might give you right here, or that place over there. We don't rock like that. So according to the Bible, every man with his head covered in the midst of prayer or prophesying is when the Bible's coming out. We'll read what you got about prayer.
It's the book of John chapter 9 and verse 31. Now we know that God heareth not sinners.
What?
That God heareth not sinners.
Said God heareth not sinners. So if somebody's praying and they're in the midst of sin, the key word you gave out, right? God ain't listening to them. You got kids?
Yeah.
You don't have no kids. You got nieces and nephews, little cousins.
Yeah.
You have relatives. Okay. So anybody ever come to you for help? They need something. They want some money, some candy, or something like this store behind us? Yeah? No? It happened, right? Yeah. Now, if they're not listening to you and you're trying to warn them and direct them, instruct them, do you take heed to what they're saying? Depending on if it's good or bad, but most likely your answer is going to be, if they're not listening to you, it's going to be what? Hell no. Read it again.
Now we know that God heareth not sinners. But if any man be a worshiper of God,
if any man be a worshiper of God, you worship God by keeping his commandments, by being obedient. If any man is doing that,
but if any man be a worshiper of God and doing his will, him he heareth.
Him the Lord heareth. His prayers will be heard, or her prayers will be heard if they have the nation of Israel, especially. Bring it up. Back to what you was at, pick up.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3.
Bring it up.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
So any man in the midst of prayer or prophesying, again, prophesying is when the Bible's being taught, like right now. If the man's head is covered, he dishonoreth his head. Look around. Is any man in the midst of sin or dishonoring their head right now? Because the Bible's coming out. What do you think?
What, run that by me again?
Okay. Read it again.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered. Let's stop right there. Slow it down for the brother. Slow it down for me too a little bit, please. Yeah, that's all good. We get it. We're going to take it slow because we need to. So he said having your head covered. Let's identify what it means to have your head covered. How do you explain that? Okay, read it one more time.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered.
Having his head covered. Let me ask you something. It's a building behind us, right in front of you, because you're facing this way. Is that building covered or is it not? It has a roof. It's covered. It's not open. Behind us is a park. The park is not covered, right? It's uncovered. So having your head covered would mean what? You got something on your head. You got a hat. You got a beanie. Whatever it could be. These days, you might catch somebody walking around with a pot or a skillet on top of their head if they could, right? So what the Bible said about somebody, a man, having his head covered. One more time.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoring his head.
So, again, the men you see around you right now, including yourself, is anybody out here dishonoring our head, which is Christ?
You gotta explain it to me.
Okay, so the Bible said if a man has his head covered, right, while the Bible's coming out, which is prophesying, or prayers going on, the Bible's coming out, so it is prophesying happening right now. We're in the midst of prophecy. The Bible's being spoken.
Yeah.
Your head being covered, you with a beanie and a hood on are dishonoring Christ right now. Because he said to have your head uncovered, all praises, there you go. I just want to say, I want to get the wheels turning, man. That's what we need.
I did not understand.
I know. We've been watered down so much, we in the decayed state. That's why we got to take it slow and break it down step by step. There's nothing wrong with that. We happy to see. That's why our brothers are clapping for you. We happy to see that. You got to do that in every single thing in this Bible. Back to Titus. Matter of fact, finish what you got. All praise for doing that, bro. That's a big move right there. Now it's going to be more. You got to go. All praise for doing that. Uncover your head. Remember back in the day when we used to go to church, Big Mom and them being there with the big old hats? Bring it up. The men are walking there, they knew to take them hats off their head, whether it was a Kango or a fitting, whatever they had on. They just knew. That's what you just read in the Bible. That's what you just heard in the Bible. That act right there, to honor Christ. The black Messiah. Well, yeah, far right, right? Yo, far left. Now, this is garbage. You probably seen this image in the church. I know I did when I was small. This is garbage. This ain't in the Bible. This is Revelation 1:14. But read what you got. Oh, yeah, next verse.
But every woman that prayed or prophesied with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head.
You know what he's saying? So the woman's head's supposed to be covered like we was just talking about. Back in the day, the women wore the churches. So when the brother does that intentionally knowing this, brother got an effeminate spirit. You don't. You just uncovered yours quick, in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said it's a good thing you just did that. That's how you got to identify people by the spirits they roll in. You feel what I'm saying? Now Titus 2 and verse 1. Titus 2 and verse 1. You there?
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine.
He said speak, teach, instruct the things that become sound doctrine. You understand what sound doctrine is? Okay, sound is good. Like sound, that's what he mean by sound doctrine, meaning good doctrine. Ever heard the term, I got a sound mind? Meaning my mind is intact, it's good. That's what he's saying about the doctrine. Proverbs 7 and 2, hold that, we're coming right back. That's what he means by good. There's nothing new, it's just said in a different way. That's why I said we got to take it slow and break it down, and we're going to do that for our people because we understand the destruction our enemies have placed on us. Look at these pictures, man. I just watched the movie the other day, it's called Emancipation. That picture right there, you seen the movie? I don't want to tell you the movie. I don't care.
I ain't never seen it.
Okay, you mind if I don't want to spoil it for you, but do you mind? I will if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Okay, Will Smith played that character right there and show you how they got to that picture.
Oh, that new movie.
That movie, that new, man. That thing hard. That's that one.
Is that one?
Yes, that one. You might want to see that thing as soon as you not today if you got to pay for it though.
Oh,
It's Saturday.
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, it's all this stuff, huh?
The one he said they ain't gonna break me.
He said they can't break. They
Yeah,
broke my
yeah,
bones. They didn't burn me. They
Yeah,
didn't hung
yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We understand all that. The Lord has put His Spirit on us to bring this out to our people, bro. To keep His commandments and to come show y'all how to do the same. Read what you got.
There's the book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 2.
Come on.
Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye.
Keep my commandments and live. That's going to be our life. And my law as the apple of thy eye, meaning the most important thing in our eyes. That's not what I wanted. My bad. It's Proverbs 4 and 2. It's been a long time. It's safe doctrine. I want to say maybe Proverbs 4 and 1. If you don't see it, it's all good. We can go back to Titus. 4 and 2, yeah. 4 and 2. Thank you all. So Proverbs 4 and 2 now. Listen.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 2. For I give you good doctrine.
You said I what?
For I give you good
So
doctrine.
what's the same thing we heard in Titus when we said sound doctrine? Doctrine just, he said sound just mean good. Excuse me, I almost said the wrong thing. But sound just mean good is what he's referring to. So there's a bad doctrine out there is what he's saying. What's the bad doctrine? That this is Jesus Christ. That you can do what you want. That you can shave your head bald. That you can smoke weed and sell drugs in any area you want. No, you can't sell drugs. You can't get high. That's against God. Remember you said how you love God. How did you put it? I'm sorry, what's your exact words? You said you obey God, right? And I asked how you do it. You said by doing what's good to others and stuff like that, right? Right, so all those things are actually against God, I just mentioned, that people out here doing. Selling drugs, getting high, prostituting, fornicating. All those things are against God. That's bad doctrine. But he said, one more time,
For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 2 again now. Titus chapter 2 and verse 1. He said, now I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. Letting you know what? That the good doctrine is the law of the Most High God. The commandments of the Most High God. The statutes of the Most High God. Right here in the Bible, the King James Version. This is the real Bible. You got a Bible?
Yeah.
What verse you got?
I start off with 1 John.
You started off the first time. Okay, that's a good book and chapter. The whole book off the chain. Don't get me wrong. I love it all. What I'm saying, what version you got? They got the King James version out there. They be trying to sell the new King James, the American Standard Version, the ESV, all them other alphabets. I don't care about it. But the KJV is the one you want to make sure that you have. You have that? Okay, you got to get one of them. All right. When it's sundown tonight, you can buy a Bible. We can hook you up with that. The King James Version Bible. The King James Version Bible. Yes, sir. Okay, you got it.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2, and verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged man be sober.
That the what?
That the aged man be sober.
Mr. Prince, if you don't mind me asking, what's your age?
I'm 60.
You 60 years old. I was going to say, to be more polite, you're above 30 or below 30 if you didn't want to tell her your number.
No,
but you did. Okay, you're 60 years old. He said, one more time,
That the aged man be sober.
so we speak in sound doctrine that the aged man be sober. All praises, you look like a sober man. And you of age, you an aged brother.
I never mess with drugs.
All praises, that's good. But look, many of our brothers and sisters in this very area right now do mess with drugs. Some of them sitting in the cars getting
I
high.
ain't never even drank.
That's good though. But listen, he said, what was the first verse? You got to speak sound doctrine, right? So have you been telling these brothers, thus saith the Lord? That's what we got to get to build our nation up. We got to correct ourselves and correct one another. You know what I'm saying? We got to bring this Bible out. He said be sober. What does it mean to be sober?
Have a clear mind.
To have a clear mind, right? You can't have that if you high off weed, if you popping out and you sweat,
Right.
right? If you're getting drunk. You can't have a sober mind. But God said we must have one. That's thus saith the Lord. Come on.
That the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience.
So all those things mean what? Being serious and being intact. What it means to be grave, to be grounded, temperate. You're in control of your emotions. You're not moved by things you may see or feel or things people might try to do to you. That's what it means to be temperate. You know when the police had their knee on, what's the brother's name? George Floyd's neck? A lot of people couldn't take that thing. They want to fight and act out. Listen, man, that's between him and God. We can't do too much there. We're not in power. We're in captivity right now, people, for breaking our God's law. So these things we gotta suffer. When that brother was getting all them lashes on his back in the movie Emancipation, it was nothing people around could do. Everybody couldn't do nothing. We had to sit back and watch. Why? Because it's judgment. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. And it's all recorded right here in the Bible for us, the Israelites.
What is a nation?
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity.